Boom. All right. So welcome to Breakthru Monday. I hope everyone's had a great week. I've had a great week. We had a whole lot of messages being sent out. I had a whole lot of coaching from Kim Claver over this week, which has been amazing. And I'm ready to share everything with you guys as much as I can. So let's get some sharing from the week. How did everyone go? What struggles did everyone come up against? I know we've helped as many people as we possibly can in that group chat with messages that I've come up against and questions, but open your lines and tell us how you have been going. We'll get like 2 shares, so who wants to start? And if you guys can put yourself on video, that would be amazing. It makes these way more interactive. Jaden, Isaac, Trudy, and Simone, if you can. If you can't, no worries. But who wants to share? How did your week go? Riveting. This is great.
I'll share.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Wow, I was holding my breath.
I could not put with that silence any longer. I can't. This is so exciting, right?
You don't have to walk and talk.
No, I think this week's been real productive. Probably one of my most productive weeks in 2 years of being with ISA. As of tonight, I think I've sent out over 170 messages.
Nice.
Had 2 calls, and yeah, it's been pretty cool. I've really got to grips with where my network isn't, which is quite refreshing after you get over that roadblock of shit, everybody's saying no. But it just really reflects on the quality of your network and the work that you've got to put in now to attract the right people into your circle.
So cool. Awesome, Alex. And like we obviously work quite closely together, so I've seen that in you as well, so that's really cool. Who else wants to share?
Hey, bro. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Jaden and then Bryce.
Cool. Sorry, man. My camera's busted at the moment. Hey, guys. How's everyone going?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Yeah, so I quite learned a lot about my my market, and like obviously Isogenics isn't for everyone, and that's what I initially thought coming into this industry and coming into this business, is that everyone's going to love these products because I loved it.
Yeah.
But everyone has a different mindset and concept. So I definitely learned a lot from my market, and I hope that everyone got the kind of same thought from that.
Yeah, no, so true, Jaden. So true. I've learned so much from my market as well. People, you sit there and think you would just be amazing at this if you knew what it was about, and then you ask them if they're interested and they're not, and it's like, well, why bother, you know? So no, that's an awesome breakthrough. Thanks for sharing, Jaden. And Brycey, I can see you with your clean stage jitters there waiting to share, so hit us with it, bro.
Hey, what's up, guys? But similar to Jaden, in regard to sort of finding out what my network's like, I did put it in the chat a little while ago that finding out that my network are quite skeptical, because I was quite skeptical in the beginning. So it just really helps me find those people who are at least a 7 or above, or 8 or above. It puts me in a lot more action consistently, to be able to send out messages, and like I've sent, I think, over 200 now. So it's really been able to keep me consistent and find those people that I really want to work with and help as well. And it's made me more excited to expand my network now that I've, working with the right people.
Yeah, so cool, Brycey. So cool. Thanks for sharing that, bro. Is there anyone else that wants to share? Tiff or Sarah or Brooke? Yeah, Brooke, how's with it?
I'll share, mostly because mine's basically the complete opposite.
Right.
I pretty much had last week was shit, being completely honest. I just kept getting in my own way. And I was too shit scared to send out loads of Lulu question mark messages, because I was like, how is it going to be received, blah, 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 just basically just making up any excuse under the sun not to do it. And then I had a really awesome chat with Josh on Friday, I think it was, or Thursday, and I am now getting myself out of my own way. So I've sent out today, Emma and I have become accountability partners, and we've set individual goals for how many people we're going to talk to each day, how many new connections we're going to have, how many follow-ups. So it's like, if we don't do that and the other person's done it, then we're going to feel like shit, basically, just to try and get myself out of my own way and like have numbers in front of me as well. So yeah, today's been complete opposite to what I've had for the last week.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to hear, Brooke. I'm glad we had that catch up on Friday because, yeah, it's cool because what I did with Brooke was we figured out, what does she want? What is the outcome that's going to produce? And what are the obstacles that get in the way, right? So does everyone has obstacles that get in the way, right? Who has obstacles that get in the way of them doing work that's going to build their business? And yeah, right, we all have them, right? And how can we get rid of those obstacles so that our wish becomes true, right? So Brooke's wish was to earn, you won't mind me sharing, but it was about, earn about $750 a week, right? And I said, okay, cool. What outcome is that going to give you? What are you going to get from that? And she said, well, I'm going to be able to see more family. I've got nieces and nephews all over the show. I've got brother and sister down in the South Island. I've got family all over the show and I can't go see them. And I said, okay, well, what obstacles get in the way? And it was herself getting in the way, not sending the messages, not doing the work. And then we created a plan to literally obliterate those obstacles. So there's no way around it, right? She's now got Emma, not just me, but Emma down her going, hey, have you done this? And Emma's going, yeah, well, I haven't done it either, so let's do it together. And there's no ability for that obstacle to ever be in the way anymore, as long as both of them stay accountability partners. Does everyone see how those obstacles can either get you stuck or you can just obliterate past them, right? So if you guys have got a wish to get to a certain income and you have obstacles getting in the way, find ways to get around those obstacles. Here's an example. When Jen was coaching us how to teach this concept, she was saying that one of her wishes was to get super fit. And one of the obstacles that was getting in the way was the fact that sometimes she'd just sleep in. So she got the most motivated person at F45 to pick her up every single day, 5 days a week. There's no way she couldn't go. The lady would sit outside, honk on her horn, and literally force her to go to F45. There's no way she couldn't go, right? So find ways around your obstacles that mean you can't get past them. There's no way they can get in your way, right? But awesome share, Brooke. Thanks for that. Now, this week, does anyone else want to share? I don't want to steal anyone's thunder. I know if Steve wanted to share, he'd be really annoyed that I skipped him. But does anyone else want to? Oh, yeah.
So mine's been a bit different. So I've sent out quite a few messages, and it's really funny because the people who have come back and said that they're an 8 and above for me are people who I wouldn't necessarily think were interested in the first place.
Mm.
And then, there's people who I thought would be would love isogenics and would love to be looking into a different way to increase the energy and all that kind of stuff. And those people aren't interested. Mm. So it just goes to show that you just don't know what space people are in. And if you don't, at the end of the day, if you don't ask the question, well, you're not going to know. And at the end of the day, it's just a question. They're either going to say, yes, tell me more, or no, that's not me. So I really got a lot from just really understanding that you just have no clue who this is for until you ask them.
Mm. Totally. So true. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, cool, guys. So right now, everyone's got their hat on of whatever's going on today, whatever you're doing now, whatever has, been going on throughout your day, good, bad, amazing, ugly, right? So let's just take that hat off. Everyone take the hat off, the bad hat, whatever happened today, take the hat off, and let's put on a fresh new hat, okay? Brand new, fresh new hat, and let's look at this next 45 minutes differently. So I'm going to try very carefully to explain what Kim's been teaching over the last couple of days that has really changed a lot for how I've been thinking about this, okay? So question for you guys, and this is all open just open your mic and answer. Let's say you are a cereal brand, okay, or granola, as Bryce would love. You're a granola company, and you want to figure out who is interested in granola, right? So you stand in the supermarket, right? Now, how would you know who would be interested in granola? Like, how would you know who would be interested? How would you know if you were standing in a supermarket who would be interested in granola?
Yeah.
How would you know? Anyone? Okay, you
People
would.
who
All right.
are in that aisle.
Yeah, perfect. Luigi, smashing it. You would look at who's going down the granola aisle, right? Everyone following so far, right? Thumbs up if you're following. If you lose me, you need to stop me, okay? So if you were observing a supermarket, the only way you'd know who's interested in granola is you would look at who's going down the granola aisle, right? Now for a granola company, the marketing's done by the packaging, the graphics, the wording, the messaging, the whatever the words I've got on their brand, on their packaging, right? And that would be a brand. So someone might buy whatever that beer brand is that Bryce eats in kgs, and versus someone might buy Pure Delish, or that $14 per 100 grams or whatever it is, or someone might buy another brand, right? And the marketing's done by the companies, by what they put on their visual box, Nutrigrain, whatever, okay? So how, inside of network marketing, how would we find out if someone was interested in granola?
Ask them.
All right, here we go. Right, this is brain science, right? Here we go. Here comes the brain science. You would ask them, hey, are you interested in granola? Now, Bryce would be an obscene yes. Oh my gosh, he would buy it up in bulk. He would be garage qualified for the next 2 years. He would buy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of BV, and he'd be your best customer, right? And then again, someone who's allergic to oats might not buy granola. Are we following me so far? But the only way you've figured out if they're interested in the granola is you have asked. You've caught their attention, which is so key, catching their attention, right? How does a granola company catch your attention? By their branding and their marketing, right? Now, how do you catch your attention if you're a network marketer? You call their name, right? You ask them if they're interested in granola or granola or whatever accents are going to be watching this, all right? Now, everyone thinks this is brain science, but the only way I'm trying to explain this the right way. So could you, if you were a granola company, could you convince someone to buy granola? If you had a rep in the supermarket, could you convince someone to buy granola if they had their sales hat on, but that person wasn't really interested in granola? Could you convince them to? Well, I mean, I'm pretty convincing. I could probably get someone to buy granola, right? I could, if they weren't interested, but I could sell it to them. You could probably get them to buy granola, but are they going to be a loyal customer? Maybe, not necessarily. Are they going to be a repeat customer? Maybe not. They're probably going to be a needy customer, and they're going to be the first person to call customer service. But you might be able to convince them to buy granola, but not necessarily. They're not going to really love it. Okay. Now, this is distinction, right? In network marketing, the only way to find out whether people have an interest in granola or what you have to offer, right? That is by standing and seeing who walks down that metaphorical aisle of granola and what they look at. Because if they're interested in granola, they'll walk down the granola aisle, and then you are an option. Isogenics is an option for whatever you are marketing. Is everyone following me so far? So if there's a metaphorical aisle of network marketing, right, and what you have to offer, you can push people down the aisle, and you can see who walks down the aisle, see who's interested, which is in network marketing asking someone, hey, do you have an interest in? And then you become an option. If they have an interest in weight loss, you are an option on the shelf, right? Now, And this is what this Lulu method is about. It's not necessarily, this is the distinction I want you guys to make. The Lulu method is not about making sales as such. It can lead to that, but it is about finding your network, putting them inside a supermarket, and seeing which ones walk down the granola aisle. Right? You're trying to find out who is going to walk down the granola aisle. Right? Is this making sense? Is everyone starting to make a few light bulbs going off, right? So that is what this Lulu method is about. Just as if you were into wakeboarding like I am, right? And you wanted to find wakeboarding friends, you would ask your friends, hey, are you interested in wakeboarding? Or do you want to learn how to wakeboard? Right? Putting your friends list into a metaphorical supermarket and seeing who walks down the wakeboard aisle, which isn't in a supermarket, but we just can pretend it is, right? Pretend there's a wakeboard aisle in the supermarket, right? That is what you want to do. And this is what this Lulu method is all about. Now, realizing that, how important, right? Just chuck a really important or kind of important, whatever. How important is that initial do you have an interest question? If the idea is to find out who's interested, how important is that initial question that you're asking your prospects? Just chuck a whatever you think in the chats. Yeah, very important. 10 out of 10 important. Like water to fish, the important. Yeah, exactly right. So that once you've caught their attention and they're like, yes, Eliza, what do you want, G? Right? You've got to ask them, hey, do you have an interest in X, Y, Z? And those things have to be very specific. Now, where those come from, right? Those X, Y, Zs, like weight loss, energy, cleansing, where they come from is knowing what you have to offer. Okay, so what is it that you have to offer? Now, if you want a real quick way to think about this, think about yourself 2 years ago. Where were you? What were you looking for? What made you buy Isogenics? Or if you haven't been in Isogenics 2 years, when you started Isogenics, where were you? What kind of condition were you in, like mentally, physically? What were you feeling? What were the words that were coming out of your mouth that you were looking for? All right. Does anyone want to share what they were looking for before they started Isogenics or 2 years ago? What were the words that were coming out of your mouth that you were looking for? Sorry?
Cleansing.
You were looking for cleansing.
Yeah, I was looking for cleansing because I used to do heaps of fucking cleansers.
Okay, great. Awesome. Who else has got something that they were looking for 2 years ago when they started Isogenics? Energy. Yeah, great.
So tired all the time.
Yeah, perfect. Sharon?
More retirement money.
Cool. Awesome, Christine. Sharon, I'll unmute you for you if you want. You're unmuted. Oh.
Got it, Duh. Yeah, just the same as I heard before. It was energy and mental clarity.
Yeah, cool.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, awesome. And guys, remember to use words that you were looking for in the pre-Isogenics getting into your brain. What were you looking for? All right. So who else? I'm going to take a few more shares. Brooke, what were you looking for?
I was looking for weight loss and just better sleep.
Perfect. Great. Who else? Someone else said something?
Convenience, bro.
Yeah. Jaden, perfect convenience. Alex, yes?
I was looking for energy and performance.
Great. So whatever the word is that you're looking for, whatever the word is you were looking for 2 years ago, I would suggest putting that into the do you have an interest in? Okay, so if we were to mix these all together, it might be do you have an interest in cleansing, energy, and better sleep? Do you have an interest in mental clarity, better sleep, and cleansing? Right? Whatever you were looking for, mark it to yourself 2 years ago. All right? Does that make sense to everyone and make it a bit clearer? Yeah, right? So this is what you want to think about. What were the thoughts that were going on through your brain that had you buy Isogenics? Right? Because those are the people you can help. All right? Those are the people that you can help. Now, I'm just going to read my notes. Does anyone have any questions about that so far? Because that language is super important, right? you got to remember, Kim's a linguist. She's studied communications. She knows what she's talking about with the language. So if you're fiddling with the language a little bit too much, your results may vary, okay? So does anyone have any questions about that so far? No? Okay, cool. So what I want everyone to do is write down the 3 things, or 2 or 3 things you were looking for when you first started Isogenics, and I want you to come up with a do you have an interest in statement, and we're just going to go through a few, and we're going to evaluate a few. And if you were to step back 2 years ago and someone had asked you that, would you have said, yeah, I'm interested, right? So if everyone goes to pen and paper and just write them down. All right, and then once everyone's done, finish up, just unmute your line and share what you've got, the 3 things. So say it as a sentence. Do you have an interest in?
So I'll go.
Yeah.
Do you have an interest in cleansing, fat loss, or better sleep?
Cool. Who would have probably reached out to that? Like, yeah, I've got a bit of an interest in that. Yep. Brooke would have. Is Brooke kind of in your target market, Sarah, of the person you kind of want to work with?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, here we go. Now we're starting to draw some connections here. Who else? Yep. Yaz. Yep.
Do you have an interest in energy and performance and nutritional cleansing?
Okay, cool. So I might shorten that down a little bit. So I'd say energy, definitely. Did you say better performance?
Nah, performance.
Okay, performance might be a bit vague. So maybe look at things like gym results, or what aspect of performance were you looking for? Yes.
Like probably just like more energy in the gym, really.
Okay, so energy, yeah.
Like perform better in the gym because I found myself just yawning midway.
Okay. Could you put that under energy?
Yeah, probably could.
Okay, so energy, and then let's forget performance, but what's another word? Have a think, we'll come back. Okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, you could say something about like, do you have any interest in like something about workouts, maybe? So maybe think about maybe some language you could use around that, because you started Isogenics mainly to be able to work out more, right? So that's like a big part of your why. So maybe just like explore that a little bit and try and get as specific as possible with that word.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool. Anyone else? Who else? Brooke, yep.
I've got, do you have an interest in better sleep, weight loss, / toning up, or increased energy?
Okay, cool. Forget the slash. Right, slashes, you lose people's attention. So sleep, better sleep, weight loss, or energy, increased energy. I'd probably just say energy.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Now, who would have reached out if Brooke had said, do you have an interest in weight loss? Oh, sorry, better sleep, weight loss, or energy? I would have. Okay, now, Brooke, with these people with their hands up, are they in your target market? Would they be people you want to work with? Okay, all right. Holy heck, we're starting to build this like people circle around you. Okay, who else? One more. Isaac.
Mine's, do you have an interest in more energy, better results in the gym, or losing weight?
Yeah, cool. Yep, sick. And I think, Alex, you would have probably reached out if Isaac had said that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else would have reached out if Isaac had said that? Better results in the gym. Anyone? Yeah. Eliza, cool. All right, here we go, right? So now you're marketing until you learn it at a really deep level and you've invested a lot of money into it. Market to yourself before you started Isagenix, what were the words you were using, what were you looking for, and what got you to buy. All right, makes sense to everyone? Thumbs up if it makes sense. Any questions? Yes, Bria, hit me.
Sorry. So I honestly got into this just for the business. So, but are we just going for the health people? Like,
yeah, so you want to build customers, right? You want to, when you initially start Isagenix, like some people do start for the business, and Alex might be able to share something with you about this because he had this issue with Kim as well. But you want to build this like a Netflix model. Kim calls it the AOL model, which is their cable TV, but think of it as like Netflix. You need to build a customer base of people who love the products, right? Like they love Netflix, consistently reordering customers, right? From that, once you've got a business model that actually works and you know how to teach people what you actually did, then you can become like a Walmart store where you start opening up chains and you teach people how to market what they have or what's happened for them. So yeah, people came in for the business, but initially this is always going to be a product-based business, always. Okay, so Alex, did you have any quick notes you can share on that? Because I know you had this with Kim.
Yeah, I've had this with Kim, and I also had this with Nicola
Gray.
Yeah. And without getting in too much of like the whole pyramid scheme side of things, Kim basically said that we partner with a company to help the company sell more products.
Mm-hmm.
We don't partner with a company in order to make more money without the product being the focal point, because then you're treading on the line of something that is illegal. And that's why there is so much emphasis on the product experience and getting customers as opposed to just coming in something to make money off someone or something. If that, you may be able to explain or get that across a bit clearer, but yeah, essentially that's what I learned from Kim.
Yeah.
Was that we're here to help Isagenix sell more products.
Yeah. Cool. Am I here? Am I still here? Am I here? Cool. Yeah. You can hear me? Cool. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, Alex. Yeah. And this is always, when you initially start, this is always going to be a Netflix model, an AOL model, until you know the system that actually works and until you've learned to market so you can teach other people how to do the same thing. Right? Okay. So here's the thing, right? Now, I put a post up in the page a while ago saying, imagine if your one and only job was to find every Harry in your community, every person with the name Harry. Imagine if that was your one and only job to building your network marketing business to whatever extent you wanted to, right? And we all said, yeah, well, you just get to the top. You get everyone in a group and you'd say Harry and see who looks back, right? Everyone remembers the post. Everyone read the post. Their hands up if you read the post. But how important, right? How important was it to know that you were looking for Harry? For that whole thing to work, how important was it to know that you were the person you're looking for was called Harry? Just check out how important that was in the chat. How important was it to know that you were actually looking for Harry, not Bill? Right. Yeah, right. So it was super important to know you were looking for Harry. Now, this is what marketing is. Marketing is learning who are you and who can you help, right? If you can only help people called Harry, right? Firstly, you need to know who you are, right? And then you need to know who can you help. So if you only can help people called Harry who have orange hair and a size 8 shoe, right? At least you know who you're looking for, right? Really visual. You can see Harry, orange shoe, orange hair, size 8 shoe. That's who you're looking for. You can find out where those Harrys hang out. And same for network marketing. In a culture where everyone's selling the same product, the company teaches you this idea that everyone's a customer, but it's not the truth. You want to find people who you align with, who have your values, who have your goals, who have, who you want to hang out with, basically. Customers that aren't hard work. Okay, and this is why it's really important to go back in your mind and think, where and why did I start Isagenix? Where was I? What was the language I was using? Marketing's all about language. What was the language I was using? What was I looking for? And what got me to buy? And that is going to be where a good marketing point is to start, right? It may not be the finishing point where you figure out exactly who you want to market to, but it's a start. Okay, it's a start to talk to those types of people, ask the right questions to those types of people, right? And then from there, you can push them through and see, pre-qualify them. Are they an 8 or above? Now, I talked to Kim over the week, and she said, why are people, I sent a few screenshots of messages that you guys had put into me. And she said, are you noticing that all these screenshots are from people who are accepting 7s? And I was like, oh. She said there was 2 screenshots. She said, look at those first 2 screenshots you've sent me. They were both 7s, and what was the first question they asked? And they both happened to ask, how much does it cost? Was the first question those people asked. So Kim said to me, great practice with 7s, but they're basically a no. You need 8 or 9s or 10s, preferably 9s and 10s. All right, 7s, great practice. You can maybe convince them to buy granola. You're probably going to have a hard time coaching them, and they're probably going to be the first people that turn their auto ship off. But it's possible. Okay, it's just up to whatever you want to do. And remember, guys, this is just one way. The key to this, the whole reason of network marketing is finding interested people, right? And Lulu question mark method is one way of doing it. You can find it from, like, there's millions of ways. I just know this is a pretty efficient way of finding people and who's interested, right? When Sarah and I first started, when I was messaging Kim, she said, well, how did you guys do your first 6 figures? And I said, well, we found people who were interested. We plugged them into the page, tagged them in the post, got them on a call, and then they got started with a bit of convincing. And she said, yeah, you found interested people. That part of marketing never changes. That part of network marketing is never going to change. You still have to find interested people. It's just how you find them, right? And that method is always going to change as markets become more skeptical, as markets become different, when people start looking for different things. That method's going to be different, and that's how we've got to move with the times, right? Thumbs up if you're following me so far, right? Any questions so far? No question's a dumb question when it comes to marketing. I've asked some terrible questions, so hit me with them. Nope.
I'm just thinking, perhaps you could just maybe elaborate a little bit more, Josh, on why it's so important to keep building your network, because I think that right now we're all zooming through our network to find who's interested, and soon, like, we're going to get to the end of the network, and we don't ever want to get to that place. So maybe just touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, cool. So the other thing about marketing, right, and this is what people, you guys are all here and in for the long run, right? So you all can take a bit of tough news. You guys can all take a bit of like, this is it. This is why people quit. This is why the rally cry that all leaders who have no marketing experience tell you is talk to more people. I've been guilty of it. Many other leaders have been guilty of it. It's just talk to more people, talk to more people, talk to more people. That's the rally cry, and yet it produces very little results. Now, momentum happens when a lot of people are still in their warm market at the same time. So who was here during like momentous blitzes, like when you saw big growth in Isagenix? Was anyone around then? Rach, you would have been. Isaac, you would have been. Right. So that was due to just the sheer number of people who had a little bit of marketing knowledge, and the market was at a stage where you could put a transformation post on Facebook and you'd have 30 messages in your inbox. Okay. And there was a lot of people touching their warm market at exactly the same time, which sent Isagenix in a massive spike. Well, what happens when your warm market runs out and you've got no marketing experience and no skills? Well, all of a sudden, the leaders are thinking, who have got teams, like, okay, well, people aren't talking to enough people, people aren't talking to enough people, people aren't talking to enough people. It's just not true. People don't know how to market to their people. And this is why it's really important that you guys learn marketing principles. If anything you do this year, just learn marketing so that you can learn how to find interested people, learn how to talk to those interested people, learn how to find people who are in your niche and looking for what you have to offer, right? Unless you've got 10 spare hours every night to go out and, connect with people at, networking groups and all that kind of stuff. No one's got that time, right? No one's got that time. And some people at every stage in everyone's network marketing journey, they're going to run out of people that's a lie. At the stage where most people quit network marketing is when they run out of interested people. And if you don't have grit and you don't have determination, you will be gone. And you will see people who have done extremely well. I'm sure myself, Rach, Isaac, Eliza, those of you who have been in a year or so, or Bridie and Bryce, you would have seen talented network marketers who do very well initially disappear. And that isn't due to them getting lazy or distracted. It is because they don't have any more people to talk to and they're not learning the skills to find people to talk to, right? So when you guys saw momentous movement in your businesses would have been when there was just a sheer number of people who were all still working in their warm markets, and then all of a sudden their warm market dried up and it was like, okay, well, what now? And that's what slows down. So now we've got to teach marketing principles so we can find more interested people, because there's plenty of people out there. And if you know who you are, what you offer, what you're marketing, and how to market and sell, 5 key things, you can capture a lot of that market, okay? So that's why it's really important to start growing your network on the other side of burning through it. So you never get to a stage where you're like, or you burn through it and then you're like, okay, well, I want to offer something different to people. So you go through again, right? And you give people another offering to see if they're interested in something different, right? I know Andrew Logan, I saw through Alex's Facebook, because Andrew's doing Kim's Yes course. Andrew was starting to discover that he's actually might change his niche. So he'll be able to go through and offer people something different again, right? So am I still here? Did I figure it out? Yeah. So Andrew Logan, he's figuring out, actually my niche might not be dads who want to lose 10 kgs. My niche might be dads who struggle to get enough nutrition into their diet and don't want to spend more time in the kitchen, right? Rather than dads who need to lose 10 kgs and don't have the time to meal prep. He might be changing, right? And that's how you can go through and re-offer people new solutions. Is that making sense to everyone? I know there's a lot to take in, and marketing is not an easy thing. Like Sarah and I have been pushing really hard to learn this, to be able to deliver it in a way that makes sense. But I hope at least you guys can think about the language you were using 2 years ago when you first started, or when you first started Isogenics, and start asking questions based on that person. What were you looking for? What made you say yes? And why did you stay around? Okay? Because you all spent money and continue to spend money on these products, right? Now, let's see my notes here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that's all I've got for tonight, guys. I thought we could do 15 minutes of just smashing through some questions, exactly how, and get some live coaching if anyone comes up with anything, or anyone has any messages that they are struggling to get back to. Just let us know and we can all help each other. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Or need any help with anything? Cool. Righty ho. All right, well, let's get to it, team. Got another 15 minutes. We could probably go a bit longer if people want to stay. But yeah, that's the last thing I was going to say. Test and measure. Okay, marketing is all about testing and measuring. If Nutrigrain put a box that was just absolutely blank on the stand, right, and it didn't work, would they keep paying for that marketing? No. Would they change what's inside? No, because no one's freaking tasted it, right? No one knows if the nutrient's any good. So when I was talking to Eliza today, you know, she came up with what she was interested in when she first started. That's awesome. But if those words don't work and you wouldn't put it out as an ad and pay 10 cents for people to view it every single time and the words aren't working, test and measure. Send out 10, see if you get like 1 or 2 responses. And this is what Kim just told me today, so this is all new information. So send out 10. It's called the bullet versus cannonball method. So send out 10, see what kind of responses you get, right? Put a little bullet out there. What type of responses are you getting? Are you getting 10 to 20% back, which is just 1 to 2? 1 to 2 responses back. Not tens like, oh my gosh, I'm a 10, but are you getting 1 to 2 responses back from those messages, right? And if it's not working, change it. Testing and measuring is the lifeblood of marketing. If you can learn to not change the method not change actually what's inside, but just the surrounding wrapping. So instead of using weight loss, using fat loss, or instead of using weight loss, using dropping a few kgs, or want to lose weight, or other words, right? If mental clarity is not working, do you use cognitive performance? Do you use someone who is struggling to get to work every day? You know, use different words, things that you would pay to put out as a Facebook ad. Think of it like that. So test and measure. If you put out 10 and you get a few responses, great. Keep using that, right? Try it on another 10. If you get the same number of responses, awesome. Cannonball. Just keep going. That one's obviously working, all right? It's all about ad copy. If you put out 10, nothing, zilch, not working, change it, right? Change it. If you get a few responses from the right people on this side with the 10 that you sent out, you get a few 8s or 9s and only like 1s or 2s on this side, go with this one, right? Always test and measure, the whole way through. If you're getting people to a certain stage in the whole Lulu process and they're stopping, look at that message that you're sending. Is it fluffy? Who has added fluff to their messages to make themselves feel better? Oh, yeah. Right? Everyone's added fluff, right? Remove the fluff. Giving people a back door, they're plenty happy to say no themselves, right? Adding extra words in there that are unnecessary. Just people's attention spans are like minuscule. I'm guessing most of you have scrolled Facebook or done something other than be present on this call in the last hour. Right? Attention spans are minuscule. If you can't even be on a call for an hour, how are you expecting people to read fluff? Yasmin Khan, I know you're not doing anything productive. You're on Facebook, right? It's true. People's attention spans are not here. They are in other places. They scroll Facebook. They do other things, right? So don't be someone who's naive to think that adding fluff is going to have them reply. It's not. It's, do you have an interest, or can I catch your attention by asking your name and have a question for you? Do you have an interest? Zero fluff. And if you have an interest, how interested are you? And if you are actually interested enough for me to work with you, let's get on a freaking call, right? Not like, oh my God, if you don't need to, it's okay. I have time, really. I've got all the time in the world. You can come and call whenever you want to. You know, don't worry, because I've got no posture. No, get a time commitment out of them. Do things that if you're running a multi-million-dollar business, those people would do. All right. Does anyone want to say anything about fluff? If anyone's got anything to share about fluff, that would be amazing.
You've got a big lump of it on your head, Josh.
It's true. Something had to come from Alex's mouth. Christine, you did a radio boy in. Oh, yes, Christine hit it. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. It's all right.
Yes, thank
There you go.
I'm coming from somewhere slightly different to this whole group with the A thing. And when I first saw it, my comments would have been, I wanted to improve my health and energy and a secure future.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know from experience that network marketing can work. So I think that's okay for my age group. But I realise that this is a fantastic opportunity for the younger generation, and that is not a message I could send out. And I have quite a lot of younger people around me because I do tend to mix. Thank you. Don't forget, everybody here has got a nan.
Yeah.
And we are a forgotten group, I believe.
I should get my grandma on here. She would absolutely love
it. But what would you suggest that my comment should be when I'm trying to speak to younger people? Because I can see the fantastic advantages it's got for youth.
Totally. That's a good point.
I can't suggest that it's good for their healthy aging, and they're not really into secure futures at this age, are they?
No, that's very true. Okay, so one thing to know is your niche, okay? And it's really important to know. And I know that, in network marketing, you just want everyone on your team, okay? But it's really important to niche up. And I'm talking to the level of, I know people are doing Kim Claver's course that have like, I only work with shift working nurses, right? And you think, holy heck, that's cutting your market a bit fine there. And you're like, well, no, this lady is enrolling like there's no tomorrow. She's finding customers because she knows she's looking for nurses. That's like calling the name Harry. She's like, nurses. They're all looking, right? They're all looking. Nurses, yep. Right? But if you're calling nurses and doctors and pediatricians and obstetricians and urologists and all this kind of stuff, and all these people looking, it's really hard to find words and lingo and copy that actually talks to those people. Are you getting what I'm saying? So
yeah, stop scattergunning.
Yeah, right. So you need to really niche up. And where were you? I know you're saying you can see it's awesome for the younger generation, and it is, obviously. Look at, but where were you and what were you looking for? And I wouldn't mix mix opportunity and health at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would do 2 to 3 things health wise. So if you're looking for better aging, or healthy aging, or graceful aging, better energy, and sleep.
All right. Thank you.
No stress. Brooke, hit me with it.
I have a question. When making new connections with with your cold market, after having that conversation with them and kind of getting to know them, when is a good time to kind of bring up like isogenics and that sort of stuff, and how?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so one thing to remember, guys, is this method only works for people who know your first name. Right? So remember that, only working for people who know your first name and who know kind of who you are. Don't have to be great friends, just acquaintances, you've met them, they know your first name. For cold market, look, as soon as they know your first name, look, I can't see, obviously relationships help. When you're building relationships with cold market, it definitely helps to have a few points of contact, a few interesting things to talk about before you smash them with, hey, do you have an interest in weight loss, energy, cleansing? Because that, as much as I say it's kind of like asking someone if you like wakeboarding, weight loss is always a touchy subject if that's what you're looking for, right? So having a little bit of a relationship around that might help. Or when you first meet them, bringing up that you do something in that area. So it's not like off the cuff, right? Weird. So when I meet people now, I say to them, they say, hey, what do you do? I say, I run my own business. What do you do? Get it back onto them as quickly as possible. And then they're never satisfied with that answer, never. And they say, oh, what's your business? And I say, I market an exclusive product for millennials who are looking for better day-to-day energy, fat loss, and better mental clarity. So instantly they know what you do, right? So it's not necessarily like when do you bring it up, it's like how do you introduce that person slowly to it so it's not weird when you do bring it up. Make sense? Does that help your question?
Yep, completely. Thank you.
Cool. Rhea.
So one of my 3 things, I had a slash in, so I think that I need to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was weight loss / toning up. And when I was honestly looking back at what I was looking for when I started on this, I sort of wrote down weight maintenance rather than weight loss. However, I don't really know how to say, like, unless you're in this, weight maintenance is jargon, right? It doesn't really mean a lot to the average blog. So what would you say?
Yeah, good question. Remember, guys, I'm just learning this as well, so don't ask me the hard questions, okay? No.
I liked weight loss / toning up because it broadened my net. Although everything that I'm learning at the moment is I want to narrow the net. So what, do I just pick one? Do I just go weight loss?
Yeah, I'd say so. Calling out to who you're, you know, where were you? Like if you were to have zero jargon or, you know, words that a 13-year-old could understand, as Kim's famous saying, what would toning up? Nah, 13-year-old ain't gonna understand that, right? So make sure that whatever you do you have an interest in, guys, for just as a side note, make sure a 13-year-old would understand it. Okay, not performance and words they wouldn't understand. But for you, Rhea, think of the words you were looking for when you were using in your mind when you first started. Go to that quiet place and say, what was I looking for? What were the words I was using? Was I using weight loss, or was I using something to make it sound like weight loss was something fancy when really I just wanted to lose weight? Or was I looking for
was convenience one of your words, babe?
No, it's not. And that's probably not something that I was looking for.
Okay.
Bridie suggested fat loss, which sort of covers both weight loss and toning up. But I think that might be jargon as well, or, you know, like if anybody's on the outside, they're like, fat loss, what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe it works.
When you're looking at finding a way to get like really good quality nutrition into your diet, because you were right.
Yeah. So my other 2 things are nutrition and energy. I know those 2. It's just that third one. Honestly, if I had it my way, I'd be like a side hustle. But I noticed of that business side, so
I would stick with weight loss. Test and measure weight loss. Go out and test it, right? Like if you guys had unlimited, if let's say you're marketing a product that you've always wanted to bring to market, you came up with an invention, right? You're like, fuck, I've got this invention. And you go out and put it on a Facebook ad. So it could be, I don't know, think of like, you've come up with AirPods, the Bluetooth AirPods that Apple have put out, the things that look really cool, right? And you've like, I've got to go market this. You wouldn't keep putting out an ad that doesn't work. So you've always got to have this test and measure mindset. So with you, Rhea, go out and test and measure. It doesn't matter necessarily, minus the actual lingo and the jargon, it just matters what works, right? And if it's something you're actually interested in, you're not lying, right? You're just trying to find out what actually works. So test and measure. Go out and see what weight loss comes back at. Go out and see what fat loss comes back at. Percentage-wise of number of messages of people who reply to a question for you. How many people come back, okay? Sweet.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah. I think this has been a massively productive call. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other questions?
Does everyone understand that? Okay, so you go question for you, and then do you have any interest in? Do you guys understand that everything after that also has to be really streamlined and to the point and like structured? Does everyone understand that? Because it's so easy to like put more words and like answer people's questions and all that kind of stuff. is everyone like on the same wavelength in terms of really sticking to the template? You guys are all good with that? And has anyone come up against like maybe losing their way in the conversation where people just keep firing questions at them and want to know more? Yeah, maybe you could touch a little bit on that, Josh, because I know Kim talks a lot about, you've got to be the politician, you've got to be in charge of the conversation, and it's something that we haven't had any training on. So maybe you could touch a little bit on that, because I know that when you are fully in charge of the conversation, you can take it anywhere you go, and any way you want it to go, and I know that you're really good at that. So
so so you've got to be like a really good politician, right? So you've got to think, marketing is about keeping people's interest. This is what Kim told me, word for word. Marketing is about gaining people's attention and getting them so interested that they ask you, how do I buy this, before they know what it is. Okay? So as soon as you insert jargon, or you insert technobabble, or words that a 13-year-old wouldn't understand, it is like sandpaper on their attention span. Just works in a way slowly until they're not interested because there's too much to understand, right? So during the conversation, and people are chucking things at you like, what do I have to do? Right? Has anyone been chucked with, what do I have to do? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to answer the question. You can instantly ask them a question. So what are you looking to achieve? Right? It's not necessarily, you don't actually have to answer the question. You can go, okay, cool. So they've got to on a scale of 1 to 10, yeah, I'm a 9. Okay, cool. I may have something for you. They say, what do I have to do? And you say, well, what are you looking to achieve? Right? Can you see how I've never had to answer what do I have to do? I've answered their question with another question. Or they might say, what does it cost? And you say, well, let's get on the phone. I can tell you how it comes. How does it come? Right? So those are like ways around it. So you can say, hey, look, this is how the product is packaged. Or you could say anything that keeps you in control of the conversation. So I had a guy that said today, oh, well, what are the costs? And I said, well, let me tell you how it comes, and then let's get on the phone and I can chat about it. Instantly gave me his phone number. Okay, so don't think that not answering their question is going to have them lose interest. It's going to keep them interested longer. So much so that I message Kim questions, right, and she'll forget, she won't answer them, and then I won't reply to it, and she'll go back, because now she's got ammunition, she'll go back and re-answer my question to get me back engaged. That's how good she is. So that's another way that I've asked. So another person messaged me going, and they asked a question and I didn't answer it, but I was like, this is how Kim does it. So I grabbed that question and I said, hey man, if you were to do network marketing, how much would you need to earn per week to make it worth your while? Instantly we were back in a conversation, right? Rather than, hey, have you got through to that information that I sent you that you're probably never going to listen to nor watch or actually spend the time listening? Like, it's not going to happen. Re-answer their question. Do you get what I'm saying here? Can you see how you can like really drive a conversation where you want it to, if you think like a marketer and think, how can I keep their attention longer? And it's practice, guys. Like, I've been sold Kim's course about 4 times, and every time she sold me and tried to sell me, I've learned something just from that process. Like, staying in the pain. Like, I said to her, it's becoming painful because X, Y, Z. And she said, I know what you feel. I can feel it. And it's not just you. And she made it okay. And she patted me on the back, and she was like, oh my God, Josh, it's okay. It's not just you. Everyone else is going through this. Now buy my fucking course, right? It was literally like that. Right? And oh my God, I nearly handed over my credit card. Oh my God. I was like, Sarah wasn't here. We don't spend anything unless we talk about it. And I was like, right? But she had my attention. So much attention was given because she had what I wanted, and I'm going to buy her fucking course. But all I'm saying is think like a politician. How can I keep their attention? How can I stroke their back? How can I funnel them to help them with exactly what they want help with? Right? You are not trying to get customers. You're trying to help people solve their problems. If they wanted their problem, if they wanted to be sold to, they'd go to Amazon because no one sells anything these days. You need to have a point of difference that people will buy from you. Otherwise, they'll just go to Amazon and buy it, right? You need to package yourself up and sell the solution to their problem. And that's what marketing is, keeping people's attention long enough that you can do that.
And as well, guys, if you, like, okay, you guys understand it right now, like we're all here on this call, you've just heard it, it makes sense. But if you go to message some people tomorrow and they fire you questions and you're not sure how to deal with it, just do a screenshot, put it in the chat. Josh and I are on Facebook like all day, so we'll be able to help you answer those questions. Don't ever feel like, oh fuck, I don't know what to say, I'm just going to do this. You know, like ask, if you're not sure, ask for help and we'll be able to help you, because that's the whole point of that.
Yeah, and everyone sees how it works, right? Because it helps everyone out. We get to learn, we get more experience teaching people how to do it. You guys get to see examples that just works for everyone. But Kim has sold me hard, trust me. Oh my God.
Yeah, she sold us the program like every day.
Yeah, every day for like a week, and it's wearing me down, but in a very nice way.
Cool. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think we should wrap this up because it is 10:05, and I know people have got to get to bed and get to work and stuff.
Yeah, if you guys want to stay on, we're going to do some work. If not, sayonara. Good to see you. Any more questions, just flip them through to me. I know everyone I have had a call with which has been Brooke and Eliza. Oh no, I just messaged Eliza, but Brooke, I had a short call with Brooke and a couple other people. Been really good. So if you do need like actual help, we are here to help. Alex doesn't need help because he gets to spend time with me all the time. But yeah, if you guys need help, reach out. Okay.
Sweet. See you guys.
See ya.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Also,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye, Christine.
Bye, Christine.
Learn to unmute your mic, Christine.
Fuck's sake.
You're going to drive her into an early grave, Alex.